How you doing, Professor Gallagher?
I'm
Hi,
good.
Professor.
Who's that? Denzel?
Yeah, that's me.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Wow, look at all these people.
Hello.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for setting this up.
I'm freaking shocked that everybody wants to have this. I
Well,
did
you
say,
said pre, you
I
said
did-
pre, you said midterm, so, you know.
I said optional.
Well, it's better to have a big group than a small group. I appreciate you doing this.
No problem. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing good. I apologize that I'm in a car, but that's where my schedule was today. And my wife was nice enough to drive, so I got to participate.
Just don't crash.
I'm not driving, so I'm good.
Oh.
No, my wife's driving.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I can, well, first of all, do people have specific questions?
Dr. Gallagher, I have, so the homework up to this point I've been doing all right with, but there was a couple problems with this week's homework that I had questions on. I don't know if that's what you're intending to go over or field questions on, or just general questions on the midterm, but if it's specific questions of the homework, I have a few of those.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
So it was this week's homework. For question one, maybe it'd be helpful if I shared my screen. Would that be all right?
Sure.
It looks like that's disabled. But so for question
No,
one,
I just
it asked
enabled it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Let me share my screen. And let me know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is question one, and it asks us to calculate the payment and then the effective annual interest rate. And I did that using the formula, the 1 plus the rate to the power of the terms, or the compounding periods minus 1. And I got 12.68. I did it then using the rate function and got a different answer. And I did that just to kind of check it. I thought the two would probably give me the same, and I'm kind of curious why they wouldn't give us the same answer.
This is, let me have a look. This is this week's homework.
Yes, yep. Assignment 4.
$12.68. What are you showing? It's very hard to see. Oh,
Yeah,
rate.
let me see if I,
Okay, so 12.68 is the correct answer.
and so with the rate function, so I did the rate with the arguments being, the first one being the mortgage term of 10 years, the rate or the monthly payment, and this might be why it's screwed up. The term I did 10 years, and the payment, I did the actual payment times 12, because that would be the annual payment. We're talking annual years for the number per. And then just the present value being 100,000 of the mortgage. I thought that should probably give me the same effective annual rate, but it doesn't.
How many periods did you use?
I used the 10 years, not the 120 monthly.
What
period,
happens
but
if
the
you
10
do,
years.
what happens if you use 120?
I think I tried that. It gives you either an error or some outlandish answer here. Yeah, it gives you an error on that.
Well, you probably have to change your monthly payment back to monthly instead of multiplying it by
Yeah,
12.
good call. Good call. Try that. Yeah, that gives you 1%, which is actually the
That's not
monthly
it.
rate.
Yeah, but times 12, it's the whole payment.
Let's try times 12. Yeah, it's going to give you, that gives you the annual, the APR, not the EAR. I mean, is it safe to say that that rate, the rate function, should calculate the effective annual rate, not the APR, correct?
It would be, that would be my assumption, yes. Offhand, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Well, we can kind of table this one. I can play around with a little more. I don't want to take up too much of the group's time. But I also had a couple questions on, so the next one, for question 2, it says you can either pay $10,000 now, or you can buy now and pay $11,000 in 1 year. But then in this box, it says not paying now involves saving $10,000 today with a payment of $11,100 in 1 year. This is the cash flow pattern. So should we have 11,000 in here or 11,100 in here?
I'm sorry, I don't even have that open yet. Can you just give
Okay.
me a minute to even find the question?
Sure. Yep.
You're talking about week 4, right?
Yes, assignment 4.1, exercise 2, chapter 5, number 4.
Oh. So what are you coming up with?
11%?
Right,
Okay. It's
that's
just the
right.
question kind of disagreed with this text box here a little bit, and I wasn't sure what you were looking for.
Oh. Yeah, it comes up, I'm showing it as 11%.
Okay. And then the last question, and this one I am completely stuck on. So this is example 3, chapter 5, number 7, this week's material. You got the 2 funds here, the 2 rates of return, and I was able to do part A, but it asked for the effective annual rate paid by each of these funds over this 5-year period. And I'm at a complete loss at even where to begin with this one.
So I am showing that we have F10 divided by B2 raised to 1/5 minus 1.
All right. All right, I'll give that a shot.
Did you write it down?
Yeah, I did, but B2 is the text box here.
B2 should be the
So-
initial investment of $100.
Okay.
Yeah, that formula is not going to work because it doesn't line up with where the numbers are. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it works if it's all in the
Okay,
same spot.
so B2 is 100.
And what's
All right.
F10 supposed to be? The average return or the annual or
The
the
value at the end of year 2015.
so that should be the 122.41.
It's
I think it's probably this number here.
123.89 is
Okay,
right.
okay.
So Jerry, what I did was I just kind of calculated $100 and how it would compound through. I did that over here, and I think that F10 would be the final
Yeah.
amounts for the 5 years.
So F7. Okay.
Yeah.
Professor, on that formula in the denominator, that should all be in parentheses, right? That raised to the 1/5 power minus 1, that should all be in parentheses, so it's all
No,
in the
just the
denominator.
1/5 is in parentheses and then minus 1.
So minus 1 minus the whole value minus 1 then. Okay. So the whole fraction minus 1 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's very helpful. I appreciate that. That answers my questions.
Okay, good.
Ooh.
Good. I'm confused,
Hey.
Mark, because you're on a picture and then you're also on the phone. Is that right?
Yeah, my computer mic sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So I joined the video and then also joined the phone. So
Okay.
and I'll stop sharing here.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. Yeah, pleasure. Well, what else do people have?
I have 2 questions I'd like to ask if I can jump in.
Okay.
On last week's homework, I think it might be just a decimal thing, but the answer key was put in as a PDF. So it doesn't show, like when you look at the formulas for the answer where it says, whatever cell box, you can't see the cell box because it's a PDF.
Oh, really?
Could you repost the answer key just in Excel so I can follow where the cell boxes are coming from? That might help a lot.
All right. Yeah. Do you have a
That'd be great.
specific one or do I have to do them all?
No, well, no, it was it was actually I think it was problem. I want to say it was the last one that I wanted to see where everything originated from. There was something with the percentage profit, and I wanted to make sure that I saw where the formula was coming from. Because like for one, I think the decimal place might have been off. It was like 5%, where I came up with like 5.5%, but I think the answer key had 55%. So I just wanted to line it up with what you had to make sure that I was, following it correctly.
Okay. I'll have a look at that.
My second question is if you can just go over just because it tripped me up the first week, the vertical lookup or the horizontal lookup. Even if you just did, walk through the one of the homework problems from the first week that had that. I think the first question had that. That tripped me up a little bit in terms of just following along how to exactly do that lookup and then use it in a formula.
All right. So if you use something like VLOOKUP,
Mhm.
oops. When you put that function in,
Can you go ahead and share your screen maybe?
oh, yeah, sure. I've got, must have it. Okay. So this is the dialog box when you put in, say, VLOOKUP. So this problem was a VLOOKUP problem. So lookup value and then I say value of A6, that would be the student that I'm interested in. So look up the value of this student from I6 to K105. So within this table, find the value for that particular student, which is A6. And then put the value of the second column in this range. So you have this range here. That's where all your numbers are. You want to know the value for this student, A6, and you want to know the value for their GPA. So then you're saying 3 times their GPA. If you were to open this up some more and then go like H lookup, you want to know B5 in this range from M6 to AP7, that's over here, the number of years that they've been working, right? M6 to whatever it was, A7.
Are you typing in the cell? Because I don't see, I just see the blank worksheet.
Yeah.
I don't know if your share is showing your work. Well, it's not showing your work, at least on my end.
How's that?
That's much better. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So what I said was VLOOKUP.
Mhm.
I'm looking here.
Right.
This is the information that's being provided into the dialog box.
Okay.
So if I leave this for the moment and just say, want to go over here and say VLOOKUP, the dialog box opens up. We want to look up the first number is the student. Do you see this dialog box?
Yep.
So it would be student. Yeah. And then the table is this. This table, right? And then we wanted the GPA, which was the second column. So that's what makes up all of these numbers in VLOOKUP. You want to look up the student from here, what their GPA and SAT were. So VLOOKUP here for a student A6 in this range, their 3 would be GPA, and over here 2 is their SAT score.
Right.
Does that help?
That helps. Now, for whatever reason, when I did it, like column 1 and 2, I was able to get, but once I got into the job tenure where it was 5, 10, 20, 30 years, I wasn't able to successfully make that jump. I'm assuming I probably didn't have my placeholders in the right place. So when I did the horizontal lookup, I need to make sure I held. So let's see. Just so I ask this accurately. So once you make the jump to, it's not a step up, it's going from 2 to 5. I want to make sure that horizontal lookup is in that 5th row where the job tenure is. So I need to make sure I put the lock on 5 and not the column, correct? I think that's where I messed up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people did that. They copied it all the way down. And there wasn't anything in those other rows underneath.
Right.
A lot of people did that.
While I have your attention, thank you for this. I just have one other question because I looked it up to make sure I asked you. I asked you what exactly I'm looking for on the yeah. So the question I had on the homework for last week, it was the problem. Let's see, it was the one. I think the answer key wasn't exactly in the same order as the problems. It was the one regarding the decorations, the box and the decoration cost, and there were like, a couple different sections of it. So where it had the percentage profit, like in section B, it showed 55%. Shouldn't that be 5.5%? And that's why I was asking about the cells.
When was this one?
This one, well, it's on the answer key, it's the 4th page, but I'm on the problems for week 3. It was problem number. I don't know what the problem was.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know
okay,
which one.
chapter 4, number 1.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was it. So under section B, the percentage profit, the answer key shows 55%. That should be 5.5%, right?
If it makes you feel any better, Jerry, that's what I got too.
Oh, thank you. It makes me feel a lot better. I think there's a decimal out of whack there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. I'm going to stop sharing. Close that. And number 1. So why do you say it's 5%?
But because if you take, I think you did profit, divided over total cost, and that would be 5.5%, not 55%.
No, it's your profit over your own capital. Your own capital is only $100.
Okay. So that's how you're defining profit. And that's why, I guess that's why my next question was going to be the next section C. That's why that number's off too. So you're taking percentage profit off of your capital regardless of any borrowing or total cost or anything else.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I actually initially divided it over revenue, profit, as a percentage of revenue, but then I saw that it looked like it was over total cost, but you're saying just over capital without
Yeah.
any else involved. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why the next one, section C, is such a large number in
Right.
terms of percentage profit. Okay.
Right. Right. Crazy, right?
Okay. All right. No, I wanted to just be clear. That's why I was saying the cells would be helpful because then I can see where it's going, where it's pulling the numbers from.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
What I want to do, what I was going to do is, I'm not screen sharing, right?
No.
Not now. In the meantime, can you tell us how many questions we have in the midterm? I'm asking this because I know it's a time exam and I'm not really fast, so.
So that's what I was looking up.
Okay, good, thank you.
So there are 5 questions exactly similar to the questions that you've had to do for homework.
So we'll have I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have 5 chapters that we've looked at, right? In this
Mhm.
last 4 weeks. So, there's 5 questions on the midterm exam. And they're the same kinds of questions you've been given.
So we'll answer on Excel. It'll be like an Excel sheet that will respond.
Do it the same way as you've been doing the homeworks. You open it up and you have the list of questions, and you're also given an Excel template. A provided Excel spreadsheet. Just like we've been doing. Yeah,
Okay.
just like the homeworks, except that it's timed as I think it was Stephanie that said that. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, Stephanie said it's timed. And how much time do you get?
3 hours, I believe.
Yeah. You have 3 hours, and you can do it anytime between midnight tonight and 11:45 p.m. on Sunday. But you can't open it and close it. So once you open it, your 3 hours starts ticking. But you can do it anytime,
Do we have to, what, do we have to save it to our computers and then upload it somehow? Or do we is there like a complete or done button once we're done with the spreadsheet and it automatically submits it for us? How does that all work?
How have you been doing it?
Well, I've been downloading the spreadsheet and saving it to my computer and then uploading it, but there's no timer on that. I'm just wondering how does the timer count down the time you're able to submit it until, and then that window closes or something like that?
Right. I hear you. I hear what you,
Oh.
let me have a look. When the timer is counting, you must finish your attempt. Are you sure you wish to start now? Start the attempt. And download the exercise questions, use them alongside. When completed, upload your midterm Excel workbook to this entry field using the attachment tool. So what happens is there's a box when you open up the exam. There's there's the spreadsheet that you download, the template, and the questions that you download, just like you've been doing. But then when you got your workbook all finished, you put it in the box, you paste it to the box or upload it to the box.
Okay.
And we just have to do that within 3 hours of downloading it.
You have to do that within, yeah, that's right.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure, if you've been getting through the homeworks, I'm sure you guys are going to be fine.
We got through them, but I
Yeah.
don't think I got I didn't get every single one of them right either.
Well, if you got every single one of them right, you should be teaching the class. Here's the thing. It's easier for me if you have questions such as you have to send me an email and say, hey, this is wrong. What's up with this, Or I don't understand this. Because when you ask me in this format, I'm scrambling to like which one, and I have dozens and dozens and dozens of windows open on my 15-inch screen here. So it gets very confusing. Like Mark, I'd be happy to look at your questions individually, when I can just open them up and say, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I think I'm all set now, so I think we're all right. But yeah, in the future, I will, as they come up, I'll reach out.
This isn't the kind of thing that I'm like, that I have at my fingertips all the time. I mean, I wrote the course, and now you're taking the course, and when I have to think about, what was that? I might have wrote the question 2 years ago. And so I gotta how do I do that? It's easier for me to have just a little bit of time. How is the course working out? How do people like it?
I'll go first here, and I was going to mention this. I didn't know what to expect coming into this course, whether it would be Excel, whether it would be finance. And, the interesting thing is, and it kind of melds the two together. So you're doing Excel, but you're actually, at least I'm, learning a couple finance tips and tricks. And I wish I would have taken this a little earlier in my studies. So I'm enjoying the class, and honestly, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. But it's been good so far. And again, I wish I would have taken a little earlier in my studies.
Yeah. I would agree with Mark. My undergrad's not in business or finance at all. And actually having to do some of the finance problems out in Excel made the finance courses I took prior to this make more sense. Where now I could really get to see the math as opposed to and understand exactly what the yield is supposed to be, rather than punching in numbers into a financial calculator, getting an answer and being able to answer the question, but not really understanding the answer. Now I feel like I understand it better when I see it kind of written out in Excel. So that's been helpful.
Well, good. Those are both really positive comments. What I try to do is, and very often, you know, a 25-year-old that's looking at working for the next 40 years is quite surprised to find out how much money it costs them to have a coffee every week. You know, and I think those are useful things to realize.
Yeah, that would be my one critical comment of this class is it seemed like such a large number when I did the homework. I sat here for like 45 minutes reworking it every which way because I didn't believe the answer, you know, and finally I said, well, you know, I think the formula is right. It's got to be the right answer, and turned out to be the right answer. So you're right. It's a large amount, that's for sure. And illustrates compounding over time.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else?
I guess I have more of a question than a comment. So for amortization tables, say you're doing an equal term loan or something like that, when do you know to use the payment function to calculate, say, an annual payment versus just taking the principal and dividing it by the term?
And do you get different answers?
Yeah, so the way I went about it in last week's homework, say for the last two problems, the first one especially was, I think I said an equal term loan. And I think after watching your videos that you posted up, I saw that, say if it's like a $100,000 loan, you did the $100,000 amount divided by 10 years and your monthly or your yearly payment was $10,000 versus using the payment formula to calculate that. Because I did both and I got different answers, and then I figured, oh, well, it's an equal term loan, so maybe you have to divide it out proportionally for the yearly interest.
I'm not sure about that.
Because I think I saw in the solution you use the payment formula for calculating the monthly payment for both the equal term loan and then the mortgage loan, which were the last two problems. But I wasn't sure if there was a time or place when you should just take the principal and divide it by the term.
God. But these are done with the payment function.
Right, I wasn't sure if you should be using payment or just taking the principal and dividing by the loan if it's an equal term loan.
Oh, no, you can't do that because the interest will always be different because the principal goes down.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure because, I mean, you definitely would get different numbers if you're incorporating interest in the function. So I just wasn't
Oh.
sure if you should do that or just separate the principal.
Yeah, it's like when
divided
you
by the
have
term.
when you have a mortgage, like if the mortgage on your house, right? The first, you have a 15-year mortgage, the first 5 years, you're paying primarily interest. and then it starts to switch to paying more principal.
Okay, thank you.
That's the difference.
Can
That's
you, and I know this might be a kind of like a easy thing, but can you go over quickly, like, the present value versus the net present value?
So net present value is when you start a project with a cash outflow. Present value is just bringing the value of some future amount back to today.
Okay,
Net present value is you starting off on a project and it has a cash outflow. And then you want to see, well, what is the net present value of paying for this and then taking in positive cash flows?
okay, so you make with the net present value, you make an original investment, pretty much.
Right,
Okay. And you want to see how that's going to pay out in the future.
right.
Okay, and the present value is,
It's just bringing money back to today's value.
okay. Thank you.
Boy, I don't see Rhett or Haley. It's great to see Denzel. Jerry, I've seen you, I don't know how many times.
Oh, my
And,
face got old.
Mark, you're a new face. But Rhett and Haley, oh, look at that.
Oh, look
There's
at that.
Teresa.
Oh, look at
There
that.
we go.
You shamed them into putting their camera on.
Well,
Peer
I'm
pressure.
gonna have my camera on. These are students from my classrooms. It's nice to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
I definitely appreciate you holding this review session too. Not everybody does this, and I think it is beneficial. So thanks for taking your time to do this.
Yeah, no problem. And like I said, you know what really is helpful? I'm happy to do this anytime. But what's really helpful is that I know ahead of time what you want to ask. So then I'm not fumbling like, where's that? I don't know what he's talking about. Makes me look dumber. All right. Is everybody good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, you'll be.
I'll speak for myself.
I did have a question. It was more for myself though.
Okay.
Remember I emailed you about the week 3 homework and I like had everything done, but I was asking a question about that like a couple weeks back earlier in the semester.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened on Moodle, but like I think I like deleted it to like update the homework that I did, and I thought I resubmitted it, but I never did. So I have a 0 showing on Moodle for like week 3 homework, but I don't know if you remember, I emailed it to you in like week 2 and it was like done. I was just asking about one question. I was trying to figure out if I could get like some credit for that still or.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If you did it, yeah, there's no problem. I'll give you credit for it.
All right, I'll just resubmit it on here and shoot you an email when I do, so that way you'll know. I guess.
Yeah, definitely shoot me an email saying you did it because
Okay.
Otherwise I get lost.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate it.
Okay, if you have any questions, send me an email, let me know.
All right,
Thank you. Good luck,
All
everybody.
right. Good luck,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good luck,
Thank you.
everybody.